Chapter 666.
Now, you are not going to do anything stupid, are you?
Ulrich sternly gazed into Key's pretty eyes.
No. What's the point? I fully understand my situation.
With a bandage around his head, he felt stripped and naked. The brain augmentation was what made him superhuman. Now he was just a basic animal.
Okay, I won't tie you up. I shouldn't trust you, and I still can't stand you, but I think you are absolutely harmless.
The super cop gestured for the supervillain to follow him.
Sure, let's go.
Key was ambitious to comply.
Don't worry, boy. Everything will be all right. Deep inside, you are a good person.
Ulrich cheered the detained young man up.
Deep inside, you are a good person.
With a limp tongue and the tone of a waterhead retard, Key mocked Ulrich by repeating his words.
Hey, that is not nice!
Ulrich considered restraining the boy, but still believed there was no way on earth he could get away. The two of them walked toward a military vehicle and climbed into the back of it. Ulrich commanded the AI to take them to the Special Forces Police Department. The nuclear antimatter engine fired off and swiftly drove toward the gate of the military base. Some soldiers watched them sit in the back of the vehicle.
Shouldn't you close the back?
Key felt cold from the wind pulling into the cabin.
No, I like the air. Enjoy it. Your last bit of freedom.
Ulrich was overly dramatic, enjoying his victory. As they left the military base, it was clear why the back of the vehicle had been left open. As the machine steadily drifted on the highway, cars pulled up one after one, looking at the two of them. Just a few seconds. A look at Key to burn the image of his face in their minds, to know what an actual monster looked like. To recognize him in a heartbeat. Oh, so many wanted to have a look at the gifted wonder child who knew how to turn machinery into biochemistry. And Key just sat there unimpressed by it all. To him, none of this mattered because he knew that all he had to do was code a deception of face recognition for any brain augmentation, and the brain itself to transform this act in moment in time pointless. He felt that they acted like brute primates, curiously observing him, mostly misjudging. The beautiful young man felt flattered, for they made him feel special and rare, and he enjoyed the strange reflection of the world mirroring him because he loved himself.
It looks so beautiful now, doesn't she?
Key's tongue was drenched in venom.
How is that any of your business?
Rich frowned.
I don't know, man. She's pretty hot now. I'd love to get in those panties. The imagination of that scent. That will keep me going whilst I will rot away through all your procedures.
Key could feel the emotions heighten between them. He enjoyed the thrill.
Who do you think you are, you little shit?
Ulrich knew he should not fall for such a tease. He knew that he was making him angry, but the endless pride blinded him.
Why? Shit's staying like you should just move aside around me.
Key was fearless.
The fuck are you talking about?
Ulrich could not believe his ears.
You low-life subhuman degenerate, you filthy cell-modified cretin, brainwashed zombie with an implanted machinery to control you. Have you ever looked in the mirror, Ulrich, and realized that you are a fat fake lie? Do you even realize how pathetically low you actually are by the rules of nature? You are a brainless whore with pumped up tits for the military, spreading your legs for them whenever they want you to. Fucking sad, bitch.
He smiled, his fangs mirroring Ulrich's despair.
Fuck you!
Eric had never felt so small in his life. Key was right. He was nothing without the enhancements provided by the military. A mere unloved subbreed.
How could I fall for a pussy like you? She must be quite dumb with pathetic tastes. Fuck me, man. They probably forced her to be with you, so they had extra control over the weapon they created.
Shut up, bitch!
Ulrich rubbed his forehead in distress. He felt dizzy, his vision was strange, and he felt like crying, but was filling up with too much unprecedented fear to produce a tear.
What is it, you clown? They didn't fix that aiming on me?
Kay laughed.
Quinhina?
After a painful, pathetic moan, Ulrich called out, imagining white unicorns running across the meadow freely. Ulrich felt light strike through his brain, relieving him of the unpleasant ache. He felt himself float away from reality and become numb. He grabbed Key's right hand, and with an opaque look in his eyes, he shattered into pieces, bones breaking like tinder behind the skin. Poor Key screamed and held his hand in throbbing pain. Ulrich altered the destination of the vehicle to a construction site of a police department warehouse. The machine stopped and he climbed out first. With his large hand, he grabbed the boy by the hair and smashed him into the dirt face first. Key could hear his laughter through the silence of pain.
The fuck are you doing?
Key coughed. He was supposed to be taken to the police department for investigation. Ulrich didn't say a word. He operated the crane close to the boy sitting on the dirty ground. He then proceeded to walk back to the boy and ripped his shirt off him by pushing his foot against his back. He grabbed his sword and ran it under Key's skin. The beautiful man felt immense pain but did not make a sound nor move. He knew this was the end. He knew the amygdalotomy was being distorted, turning Ulrich into a monster. Key looked at the hypnotized animal calmly as he hanged him on the hook of the crane. Key looked around to see if there was anyone that could save him, but there was no one. He hung there with a bare chest bleeding from his back for a minute or two when Ulrich returned with carbon-based materials he had collected around the construction site. He placed them underneath the hanging body and started a fire. He was coughing from the smoke, writhing from the heat and suffering from the pain. Ulrich did not observe the spectacle in joy, but like a hard-working man. He gathered more flammables and placed them under Key's burning feet. Key struggled to breathe. He cried, for someone as beautiful as him was being killed by a lower creature. He writhed in pain, and then it all stopped and disappeared. He was walking down strange corridors and quickly figured that it was the tree of life in one's mind. It all made sense. Being part of everything else, being part of life. Sharing and exchanging atoms. It was all just a biochemical process. In a moment like this, he figured that time could be stopped. He found strange openings, doorways in the corridors of the Tree of Life, and he knew it was similar to a simulation. He knew he was dead. He knew he was burned alive, but he was in a place he had never been before. And when time is stopped, then one can find what he's looking for. He saw other creatures in the pathways of the Tree of Life and manipulated their spirits. Key's soul disappeared in a world never seen. The fire went out. Ulrich, like a numb brute, got into the vehicle and drove away to the police department. Key's mother, who had followed but lost the military vehicle, turned into the construction site. She was supposed to meet her child at the department. Her heart shattered into tiny pieces when she saw her boy hanging there, burnt. She got out of her vehicle and ran. She cried and lifted the dead body off the hook. She could barely recognize him. He was so burnt. She held her once beautiful son in her arms and wept.
My Rosinkavelja, my beautiful son.
And across the world, the brains of human beings malfunctioned and demanded doom. Sui saw a code in her brain augmentation activate and spread into the cyber networks. The earth started to quake, and she looked up to the sky, holding her dead son in her arms. The Rosenprinz was dead. And instead of roses, nuclear fire rained down from the heavens.